Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I hope you had a great long weekend and had enjoyed yourself and you know did did what you love to do. This is just general share advice and not personal advice. Um, the Dow had a big move up. The manufacturing data was slightly weaker. So you might think, well, why is that bullish? So what it means is possibly it's slowing down, and if it does slow down, is the inflation gonna? There's a lot of ifs in this, right? But the market is looking at the positive sign, and the market's saying, well, it's slowing down. Maybe it's going to help inflation, pull inflation down. Um, you know what? I think really just a little bit of a rally. I wouldn't look into it. Inflation is still run away. Be very, very careful what you read on the mainstream. And it's interesting. I went for a lot of different websites, just seeing how people are seeing the situation at the moment. And the general feeling is they're following. I think the little press, what the press is putting out here, this image that it's starting. Little chinks in the armor here. Inflation's starting to slow down. It's going to be okay. You know what? It's not. Um, the interest rates are going to have to go a lot higher to slow the inflation down. I think any little jump or any little bit of positivity seen here is just going to be a bear trap. So great to see us up today. Um, an opportunity maybe to get out of some stocks if you're if you're not stuck in them. Um, it doesn't mean when we're saying go cash, you have to sell everything. Of course, one or two things. There could be a slew of different reasons where maybe the market could hold up. But at the end of the day, we're not changing our opinion here at Equity Story. These markets are going low, even if we have a bounce, and possibly we could have a bounce in. You never know. We could have maybe a little bounces here and there. If we do have a bounce, we'll try and pick it for you. But at the end of the day, these markets are going a lot lower. And what did we have overnight? Credit Suisse. So the Credit Suisse bank has collapsed, and the people are worried that they could go under. Trying to read through it, it's a little bit overdone at the moment. But do you remember that video I showed you the other day about Bear Stearns? Could never happen. Well, just you just never ever know. So yeah, I think definitely there's obviously a lot of issues there. And I've been reading about Credit Suisse, and they lost 5.5 billion last year through a venture they did, and ever since then they've been struggling. Um, the market's often not normally wrong, and again, this is just another issue for another major financial institution in Europe. And we said the other day that it's like a minefield out there. It's like walking through a field of mines. You don't know which bank has got issues, which bank's going to go, which pension fund's got issues, which pension fund could collapse overnight. Who the RBA, who are the European Commission going to have to come in and save tomorrow? It's very 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 scary times out there, and I think it's great to have a good day today, but generally speaking, the feeling is down. However, I think we can have a trade on something, and I'll go for that a second. Not really much news. EM2 coming out, and I think it'll be strong. Um, Made possibly a upgrade to their Eagle Mountain. Um, but I think what the market's looking for is looking for them to come into production. Yeah, I think they've got it. They've got the fact there's plenty of copper there. I think the market's now saying sort of show us the money, and hopefully, I think the good team at Eagle Mountain, hopefully they'll come up with that, and I think if they can do that, the market will get quite excited and start buying the story back up again. Um, Little bit of news: big tin can. Non-binding agreement to buy Live Tiles. You can see Live Tiles up. It's non-binding. Would you be buying Live Tiles? No. Would you be buying Big Tin Can? No. I think they both look really weak, and they both look on the way down, so stay away from them. Little Drone Shield had a good announcement. Would you buy that? No. Look, it's still negative. It's still got to do a lot more. Um, again, you can see the market really actually believing really that possibly and well, the market is believing that those manufacturing numbers are going to maybe hold the Fed back a little bit. I mean, you can see the bond rates come down. The bond rates came down. I find it a little bit ridiculous, to be honest with you, because uh, the fact that the manufacturing data was a little bit weak. I mean, it's just one reading on one piece of data that the bond market would come off U.S. bonds. But what it did do, again, we talked about those dividend plays, and to start easy into them, and those American dividend plays that we spoke about the other week all did really well. OK, DVN up, um, FRT, they're all up around, on average, around 4%. These sort of American dividend plays that we spoke about. I'll give you them again. There's OKE, um, DVN, Devon Energy, um, FRT, Ford F, and KEY. So again, having a little bit of a bounce. Certainly none of them are trending, but as a dividend play, I think they're averaging around 5% those US dividends if you add them all up, which is actually pretty good for US stocks. And the market liked them overnight, and they're doing reasonably well. But I think where we're going to go is gold. And you might be saying, Dave, why are you trading gold? It's not even trading. So, I mean, so I'm looking at gold here, and I'm thinking, well, it's starting to pivot. So it's come down, it's starting to pivot. Possibly as an argument, it's going to come back up to that sort of 1755 level. And you know what's interesting? If you actually look at gold in Aussie dollars, and I'll try and get this up so you can have a look, because we've seen obviously the US dollar get stronger and they obviously get weaker. It's actually really bullish. Look at that. It's not. Let's squash this chart up here. It's not too far off. What's the record high? 280. It's not too far off. Maybe 200. Maybe 200 off dollars off record highs. It's not. It's not too bad, right? And when you look at the price of Newcrest, which I think is maybe one of the best gold uh, stories, you can see it's had a right little sell-off, and you still would think, look at these numbers, I think they're going to be making pretty good money. Um, and I think gold's starting to pivot, maybe come back up. So I think there's a trade on Newcrest, and but you've got to have a stop loss on it. So yes, it's not really bullish, but we know we're gonna very little is on this market at the moment. But why not trade it? Maybe there's money to be made here. So I think it's a buy Newcrest at 1752. We're gonna have a stop loss on the week at say 1580, and we're going to target that sort of 2145. So I think that's a good risk reward in possibly a difficult market. You can have a look at another one like a DEG, where maybe you could a little bit easier in some ways. DEG, well, I don't know about easier. It's going to be a little bit more volatile, but again, I think you've got a pretty good. You've got to buy around that 107. I think you could target, say, maybe give it a first of all do that 120 if it gets there. Maybe lift the stops if you can get to 140, and maybe a stop loss at around that 98. Just use a natural stop loss. Important, we've got to have stop losses and everything at the moment, but I think gold's starting to pivot, and possibly some of these gold plays could have a little bit of bounce. So that's my sort of thought of the week, and that's my sort of idea where I think maybe hopefully we can make a little bit of money. Um, I went through all the stocks. There wasn't much that was bullish. The buy signals. I had two buy signals. They weren't great. EVZ is up through the buy signal. IKE hasn't moved. Again, a weak buy signal, but um, GAL, that's up. That's doing well. That's up 8%. So that's gone through that signal quite nicely. IPH. IPH was interesting, actually, because it had a broker upgrade. I'll read this to you because um, IPH, UBS put a buy on it and a target price of $11. So around here, which actually, if you look at the chart, it could get there. They said they believe the future mergers and acquisition is not priced into its shares of IP Services Group. IPH, the broker, initiates the coverage with a buy. The company, a leader in Asia, Pacific, and Canada, has a track record of successfully integrating acquisitions and delivering material synergies. So they like it. I mean, this company, it's a legal company. It does a lot of patents and around the world, and they've got a high target price on it. So, okay, it's certainly pretty tradable, and it's up 3% already. CYG is sort of up 40%. So the chart's really picked that movement, didn't it? Very, very nicely, and actually looks better, and possibly looks like it could go a little bit higher. So they're starting to, a few of them are starting to come off the blocks, and as they should. I mean, there's a little bit of a bounce, but again, I wouldn't be greedy. If in this market, you can week in, week out, if you can make 3, 4, 5%, it's a bit like take a breath and have a look again next week and see what's around. Um, on that note, I'm just going to leave you with those two little gold plays, and just be careful because things are coming out of the woodwork every single day at the moment, and again, you've seen the issues in the Ukraine and Russia getting worse and worse and worse, and someone mysteriously blowing up the Nord Stream 2, was it Nord Stream 2 gas pipe from Russia into Europe. Um, Apparently, they said Putin did it, which I don't. Why would you blow up your own pipe? I mean, I don't get that. Why do you blow up your only bargaining chip that you have? I don't think it was Putin. So this war, watch out. It could get a little bit worse. So again, just a lot to worry about out there at the moment. And but I think gold, maybe that's the place to go for the next few days. Saying that, we got live tonight. I've got the great Claude with me. We'll have a look at those shares. We'll look at the stories, and hopefully we can help guide you through this minefield. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.